Hello and welcome back to Afterglow, episode 125, and I'm going to be going to the PlayStation 1. I'm going to cover a game that I actually, though, did not play originally on the PlayStation 1, but a game I do enjoy, which is Mega Man X5. This is going to be an interesting one because you go online these days and there's not a lot of people that actually really like X5. And I do. I really enjoy X5. Does it have issues? Yeah, it does. But that doesn't stop it from being a game that I really enjoy because it made changes to that Mega Man formula. And again, some of those changes are a little rough, but it was something different, and I did really enjoy it. But before we get into some tunes from the game and my thoughts on it, let's thank the patrons of the show. A shout out to patrons OCD in Every RPG and Tex and Toby with Big Red Flavor. These two guys support the show for $1 a month. They get a shout out at the beginning or sometimes the end of every episode. And if you'd like that shout out, all you gotta do is check out the Patreon in the link tree in the show notes section. One big reason why I've been looking forward to doing this episode is the music in this game is so good. I didn't know what tracks to pick from, to be honest with you, but I love the soundtrack in this game. Like, it takes the old NES Capcom style, but then adds all the stuff you can do using a PlayStation disc now that you're actually on the medium that uses a CD, and man, the music's phenomenal, isn't it? I wasn't sure what tracks to pick. Honestly, as I'm recording this right now, I'm still not sure what track I'm going to pull up. So I'm getting ready to stop recording. I'm going to go through all the music tracks. I'm going to pick one out before I start up with my memories of Mega Man X5. And welcome back. So like I said in the intro, I did not get the chance to play this game on the original PlayStation. I didn't even know it was out, which is shocking. Like, I got every magazine for the official PlayStation Monthly whenever they came out. I don't remember seeing any Mega Man titles other than Mega Man 8, which I wasn't really interested in, which is kind of surprising now I think about it, because I liked the original Mega Man mainline games as well, but like, I was really into the X series and never knew that the PlayStation 1 had X4, X5, and later on X6. So I didn't experience this until I started kind of sort of collecting games that were retro, but not really. I had a Wii, and I found out there was a Mega Man X collection on Wii, or not Wii, I'm sorry, on GameCube. So, my Wii was one of the original models that had the backwards compatibility, and I got some GameCube games for it on eBay, and man, I got lucky when I bought them because some of those games skyrocketed in price later on, and the Mega Man collection games were some of those games that, for a bit, got really, really high for those GameCube versions. But I got the Mega Man X collection on GameCube, and that's how I experienced Mega Man X5. And like I said, I really got into the setup of the game. It's really cool. More or less after the events of X4, which I'm not going to go into here, everything is peaceful, but then there's a space colony that's on a collision point with Earth. And if it hits the Earth, it's going to be a bad day. We're talking extinction level event, just like the asteroid that killed off the dinosaurs. We gotta do something. And one of the things that makes this game different is that there is a time limit. The game gives you 16 hours, and every time you play a stage, it uses one of those hours up. And in those 16 hours, the station, which if I recall right, it was called Eurasia, it'll crash, and not a good day for Earth. So the Maverick Hunters find this old weapon called the Enigma, and they're like, hey, we're gonna shoot Eurasia, and we're gonna blow it up before it hits Earth to save it. Only problem is this super weapon is also kind of old, and it needs upgrade parts. So you've got a new commander for the Maverick Hunters, whose name is Cygnus, which is really close to Sigma, and for a while I thought he might have been a villain in disguise, kind of like someone from X4. But I figured, you know what? He's going to turn, and, well, shockingly, he doesn't. Just the names being so similar messed with me. So, you're trying to get parts for the Enigma before it hits the globe. So, at this point, the story kind of splits a little bit. You can fire the cannon right off without collecting any parts, and there is a chance it will actually work. But there's a chance it'll fail without collecting those parts. And to collect those parts, you have to go to the initial 4 Mavericks that the game unlocks for you. That being said, you can also collect all of the parts, and the cannon can still fail as well. And that's something that does get a lot of flack, is this is a game to where you can do everything right and still fail. And a lot of people really don't like that about this game. Here's the deal, though. There is a quote from Star Trek that Captain Picard says, and yeah, I know, big Star Trek fan here, I get it. But I believe the quote goes something like, it's possible to do everything right and still fail. And that's how real life is as well. I mean, there's times to where you can do everything the right way, and it still doesn't end up the right for you. It's a great life lesson, in my opinion, and I get how that can be annoying to have in a game like this, but I don't know, I kind of feel like it's fitting in a way. But anyway, like I said, here the plot kind of splits in the different directions, which, again, I love. Boom. Instant replayability in a series that already has a crap ton of replayability. This feature just gives it even more. So, if the cannon succeeds, the space colony is completely destroyed, but scraps will still fall to Earth. You can go to the final stages at that point, but the last 4 Mavericks aren't actually defeated, so if it succeeds, you're only actually playing part of the game. You almost kind of want it to fail. But if it does fail, only part of the space colony is destroyed, and it changes its orbit, and it delays the crash. It gives you more time, it gives you a few more hours to play the game. So, at that point, you do the backup plan, which is launching a space shuttle directly at the colony to destroy it. But, again, the space shuttle's missing some parts. So now, that's where the other 4 Mavericks come into play to get parts for the shuttle mission in order to finish destroying the space colony. So, similar gameplay mechanic to the first part of the game. But again, I do like this mechanic. However, same thing. There's a chance for you to do everything right and you're still going to get the bad ending. Or you can do everything wrong and not get the parts and the shuttle pulls it off. I like that feature in this game. I know a lot of other people don't, but man, it's a video game. You can replay it. It gives this game a lot of replayability. I do understand the argument. That's like, I want rewarded for doing everything the right way. I totally understand that. I see the viewpoint. But I also like the fact that, hey, maybe you can do everything the right way and it just don't work out. Sometimes it happens. It's life. Not everything is going to be that smooth ride, even if you put in the time to do everything right. It's a hard lesson to learn, but that lesson does exist in this game. But if the shell succeeds, a large percentage of the colony is destroyed. Earth is no longer in danger. Zero ends up piloting the shuttle because its autopilot won't work. But he gets into an escape pod, tells everyone he's okay. And then the Maverick Hunter team will go pick him up. And that is kind of considered the canon path for this game. Of course, in the canon ending, even though Earth was going to be okay, it was actually not okay. Parts did land, but Zero did still kind of survive. If it fails, that's where the game gets interesting. It only destroys like roughly half of it. It hits Earth and Zero goes Maverick, which is such a cool plot twist. I do like that. There is another option, which is running out of time. If you're running out of time, similar situation, the colony hits the Earth, Zero goes Maverick. But in any scenario that ends up, the virus on the colony, which apparently has a colony, merges with the Sigma virus in the Earth, becomes a new virus called the Zero virus. So the kind of turns into the thing that Wily set up for Zero. So Zero has the possibility to go Maverick in this game, which I really like. Although if he does go Maverick, X feels like he can go save Zero. Which, again, really cool touch. But then you go into the Zero space stages, and then, again, the dialogue changes depending on what happens. But no matter what, X and Zero have a fight with Dr. Wily's logo in the background. Really cool scene. Probably one of my favorite moments in all of the Mega Man X titles. Just a really cool fight, really cool moment. Just loved this part of the story. There's a small storyline split here again. If Zero's normal, Sigma will appear out of nowhere. He's going to try to finish off X. If Zero's normal, he'll attack Sigma with a Z-Buster and then collapse. If Zero's a Maverick, he'll return to normal here and sacrifice his life to save X. And of course, you've got the whole Sigma thing, because it's a Mega Man X game. You have to fight Sigma at the end of it, right? Again, though, it's cool. I really enjoy the storyline of this game. But yes, of course, Sigma is behind it all. He's like, his plan was to awaken Zero from his false self and infect him with a huge amount of the Sigma virus by scattering it on Earth. He talks about telling X of meeting like a quote-unquote old man with an undying hatred for X. So that's, I wonder who that could be, right? If you're playing as Zero, and yes, you can play as Zero in this game, you still get told of the same guy who apparently knows enough about Zero to be his own father. So, of course, he's talking about Wily. At the end of the fight, though, Zero's body looks completely nuked. Like, his lower half is gone. His arm's gone. X is going down and, like, trying to help Zero. Sigma fires a blast at X. Hits Zero in the chest. supposedly killing him. But then you have Zero's ending, where you'll get a flashback of a very important character for Zero from X4 as he kind of starts to pass away. Now, the ending does kind of split off a bit. So if Zero is normal, X will fast forward to 3 years in the future. He'll have new hunters with him, and they'll show him going with Zero Z Saber, which is like his memorial to Zero in a way, which is a really beautiful thing. If Zero becomes Maverick, there'll be like a hologram of what's meant to be Dr. Light. He's telling Exodus to hold on after that boss battle for a little longer, forget about the painful memories, and apparently the hologram erases all of X's memories of Zero. That the memories were so painful for X that it was better for X just to forget everything. Which, it's kind of a interesting take on it. At least I thought it was kind of really weird. And even X's friends tried to remind him of Zero, and he just can't retain any memory of him, even if someone tells him about it. It's like a really sad ending. It's kind of a bummer, but it's a good ending in its own way. But I just love all the little splits that can happen in this game. It gives it so much replayability. I love all the different paths you can take and whatnot. And again, like I said, you can play through the game as either X or Zero, which gives it even more replayability. But whenever you start the game, there's a bonus depending on which character you choose to start with. If you start with X, you start with the full 4th armor from the previous game, although it's kind of like a downgraded version, but I mean, it's handy to have. Zero will start, I believe, with the black armor, which is a pretty decent upgrade for him as well, or you get Black Zero. And again, if you play as Zero rather than getting like the weapons that X gets, you get new saber techniques, which again is really cool. Just incredibly fun. Now, there is one point on this game I was not a big fan of, and it's kind of weird because you would think it would be the not guaranteed stuff I talked about earlier. No, it's the Maverick names I'm not a fan of. When the game was localized, someone had the great idea of naming all the Mavericks from Guns N' Roses members. You'd think I'd be into this because I'm a big heavy metal fan. I'm not into this idea at all. Thankfully, whenever the Legacy Collection 2 came out, they restored the original Maverick names. Thank God. Because I just did not like the names of some of these. Axel the Red, Dark Dizzy, Izzy Glow, Squid Adler, Duff McWhalen. I like my Mega Man X games to have, it's okay to have some comedy, but I like a little bit of seriousness to it, and these names were just awful. On top of that, adding to the replayability with X, there are multiple armors. You can start with the 4th armor, but there's also the Falcon armor, the Gaia armor, and the Ultimate armor, which is a really cool setup. But yeah, like I said, my history, I did not have a chance to play it in the PlayStation 1. I started with it in the collection. Later got to replay it again on the Legacy Collection whenever it came out on Steam. Really enjoyed that version as well. So like I said, this is one of those games I do go back to every 2 or 3 years. I really enjoy it. And I do understand why other people don't enjoy this game as much as some of the other games in the Mega Man or the Mega Man X series, but it's one of those games I like because of what some people call our warts on it. Like, those little differences, to me, just make the game. But I'm going to go ahead and close out my thoughts on this one. We're going to listen to one more track from the game before we start rolling the outro. As always, thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to another episode of Afterglow. If you're looking for more podcast or YouTube goodness to enjoy, be sure to go to the show notes. Check out the Linktree link. There, you'll have a huge number of links at the bottom of that. Will be friends of the show, including the other show I'm on, Grim Glow Low Tech Reviews. You can check out Secret Levels and all the other podcasts hosted by Bad Secret Media. Retro Gaming Roundup, Retro Hangover Podcast, the Lost and Gone Podcast, the Main Quest Podcast. Over on YouTube, you can check out the Reviews Brothers. And, of course, there's the Cyberpod Network. And again, on YouTube, we do have the Electronic Emotions program. Other links in there include other places to listen to. You can listen on Spotify, you can listen on Apple Podcasts, you can listen on YouTube, you can listen on Amazon Podcasts. There is a Patreon shout-out. If you want to sub to the Patreon, it is a single $1 a month. For that $1 a month, I will be sure to give you a shout-out at the beginning or end of every episode. Of course, if you don't want to support the podcast that way, listen, I'm not going to beg for your money. The best way to support this podcast is to just leave a review wherever you're listening to. Leave a comment. Like, I love every comment I get. I try to reply to most of the comments I get to, that we all know I am looking for these and watching for these. I am reading them, and I just appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to listen. Finally, though, we have the Discord. If you'd like to join into the Discord, you can chat with me. You can chat with many other guests who've been on the show before. We also have a fun game we try to play every Wednesday where I will post a screenshot of an NES game, and I just need you guys to name the game of the screen I'm posting. I was a little late this week, so I did not get the Wind Nest Day. So we're doing a Super Nintendo game this week. As as of right now, no one's answered that one, so if you're really quick on the ball, maybe you can get in there and figure out what that game is. But, as I've said already 2 or 3 times, thank you for listening, and we're going to close this out with some more friends of the show who'd like you to check out some of their work.
Afterglow listeners, it's me, Keith Gasper, coming at you from the #1 retro gaming podcast, the Main Quest Podcast. Come hang out as a guest and I play and discuss a game from the backlog of my childhood. We're talking about our history and the history of the game, and if it's worth checking out today. We're talking about games from the NES, the Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx, Game Boy, and much more. And that's just on the main feed. If you enjoy what you're hearing on Afterglow, you're going to enjoy the Main Quest, and I'm happy to have you. Find the Main Quest on Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, Spotify, and wherever great podcasts are downloaded.
Hello and welcome to the Reviews Brothers. It's me, Martin, and you can join me on YouTube where I have hundreds of videos covering a huge range of video game topics. I've got top 10s, hidden gems, console-focused A to Zs, as well as dedicated videos to topics like Doom mods, 3D platform games, ninja games, pirate games, and more. I cover all systems from Commodore 64 right up to modern consoles. Nothing gaming is off the table. So be sure to search for the Reviews Brothers on YouTube, as well as on Instagram and TikTok for hundreds of retro and modern video game reviews.
Hello, my name is Aaron. I'm one half of SuperPod Saga, a topical variety video game podcast fueled entirely by nostalgia and unleaded gasoline. SuperPod Saga, we discuss a different video game topic each and every week. We have new episodes every single Monday covering a different video game topic. More than anything, we want to entertain our listeners and make you feel like you're one of the boys, like you're hanging out at a campfire with some of your best zany, caffeine-powered buddies and just talking about your favorite games and all that stuff. Stop on down to SuperPod Saga. It's on every podcatcher there is. If it's not, let me know and we'll get on it. But again, SuperPod Saga, stop on by.
Hey, this is Toby, one half of the Secret Levels podcast. We're a podcast that goes over old retro games. We go over the history, the story, the gameplay, some fun facts. We even rage a little bit. And then we go and give it a nice 1 to 10 rating to let you know if it's still worth playing. We have over 200 reviews for games on the NES, the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and many other consoles. You can find us on all the major podcasting apps, such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and you can follow us on social media at Secret Levels Pod. Game over, folks.
For more than 15 years, Retro Gaming Roundup has been the centre of your retro gaming universe, with top 10s, interviews, game reviews, news, and much more from all over the globe. Be sure to tune in every month for a new dose of Retro Gaming Roundup. That's RetroGamingRoundup.com.